Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. Another episode of Food and Real Estate. Today I have somebody very special with me. I met this gentleman last year at an event, which I can't remember where we were, but I remember the conversations that we've had. So super excited to introduce you guys to Lloyd.
What's up, man?
Hey man, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Welcome to my home, away from home.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of stuff here. You came with some really cool containers and some very colorful ingredients.
Well, yeah, I found out that you love butter chicken.
How did you know, bro?
Well, hey, just a little birdie told me.
Yeah, I would say that's my favorite.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna cook butter chicken for you.
Nice.
You excited?
I'm excited.
Have you ever cooked butter chicken before?
I have never cooked butter chicken before.
No?
Nope.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
Breakfast. So I can fry up some eggs,
Right?
bacon, make an omelet, you know.
Right.
But that's about the extent of my abilities there in the culinary arena.
So what's your favorite dish other than just butter chicken, like in general? What's the one dish that like go-to food?
I would say it's more of like countries and cultures, you know. So I like Italian food. I like the ingredients. Hispanic, Mexican food, the ingredients. I like cheese. That's the thing. I like cheese. So, I would say Mexican and Italian would be some of my favorite dishes.
Wow. I love Mexican food. It's just like one of my favorite. I cook a mean burrito, I would say.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I think Nee behind the camera, he's tried it. I think we did the first shot we did for the promo for this was a burrito.
Butter chicken burrito, infusion.
We did that at the restaurant when I had it.
Oh really?
Yeah. We would get like a really long like naan bread, and we'll stuff it with butter chicken or tandoori chicken, and then we'll roll it up, and we'll sell those for like $7.99 or $8.99 for lunch.
Yeah.
Dude, they were hit.
See, I got vision, but cooking, that's a whole different story.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I love cooking, and I love like doing this stuff. So Lloyd, tell me what inspired you to get into real estate?
To be completely honest, I had parents in real estate, but they gave me this book when I was 18. It was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a book everybody's read, but it really inspired me when Robert Kiyosaki's wife wanted to get a Jaguar, new car, and instead of going out and getting the car, the idea was to go get an asset that made the payments, the cash flowed and made the payments. And that is one story I remember to this day that really got me thinking real estate and real estate investment. And within a year, I purchased my first home, got my real estate license and my mortgage originator's license when I was like 19, 20. Yeah.
I've been thinking about getting my mortgage license just because.
Oh yeah.
We're in commercial real estate. I mean,
Well, in commercial, you don't necessarily need.
Yeah, I don't need it, but it was just like one of those things that I kind of like thought about.
Yeah.
Like it'll be cool to have it, not just because I need it for anything.
Gotcha.
But then I'm like, maybe I should not get into that.
The community is cool.
Yeah.
Of the people in lending out there. So,
Right.
I think that would be a big benefit. What you got?
Ready for this?
I'm ready.
So marinated this yesterday, just some boneless chicken thighs with some spices. They've been marinating, and earlier today I added a little bit of lime to it.
Wow.
Just for a little zing. So we're just gonna saute this.
It's gonna sizzle. Ooh. Okay, I gotta see it still.
Yeah.
I can smell it.
Smells great.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry already.
Yeah.
I didn't eat anything but breakfast today.
I skipped lunch.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I skipped lunch. Because I'm like, you know what, we're having this later, so I'm gonna have to skip lunch.
I've been anticipating this all week.
That's awesome. So, who was your, so you would say Kiyosaki was your inspiration to get into real estate?
Yeah, just a few of those stories. You know, I carried them in my mind, and I went out and made it real. And also, my parents in real estate, they inspired me as well. My mom was working for Boeing, a big company around here, obviously. And she retired from Boeing and jumped into real estate in like 1989.
Wow.
I was just a little kid at that time, but she would pay me like 1% of 1% of 1% if I answered the phones professionally. And so I did that, and I went on house tours with her.
Right.
And she's still in the game, and she's she's had a very good long career.
So that's where you get your that's where you get it from.
Yeah. You're making me go back to my childhood, man.
How was it? You miss it?
No, I mean I love it. I love my childhood. I love all the experiences that I had. My parents are great parents, still together to this day. Mm-hmm. Great grandparents, and so I really appreciate how I came up. They gave me every opportunity that they could, and I can't, say I have some sob story and went from nothing to something.
Yeah.
But definitely was able to do that in my own adult career life. Come from allowance to, to being able to support the family.
Right. So I know that you retired from brokering a while back. Mm-hmm. So what led you to the retirement? That's
an interesting story. So I love real estate. I love the people in the brokerage industry. And what happened was, at some point, I had an illustrious career. I was in residential my first 7 years. Sold a property, the whole top of Cougar Mountain, to Sean Alexander, who was our NFL MVP in his MVP year. And so I kind of reached the peak. I was starting to reach the peak in like 2006. I started in 2001. And then 2007 comes around, and I was with a West Coast firm, and we ended up being one of the sales groups representing Trump Tower Las Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah, we sold 200 units in 48 hours, man. We did this big, speeches in front of 3,500 people, and we ended up getting 200 deals under contract. And then the market crashes, and then Countrywide pulls out of the deal because they were the financing company. And so I had to take 200 loans, this is me now, from bank to bank to bank, to private equity, to hedge fund. And that got my mind opened up and expanded to that next level of real estate. And so I dove into commercial after that. I was able to reinvent myself.
Wow.
And then, 2011 comes around, we broke some records in our office. And I just kept trucking away and going after certain markets. I've tried a lot of different things in a lot of different sectors of commercial real estate, from hospitality all the way to, multifamily and industrial and retail, working with investors, working with funds, and also working with tenants. And so, it got to a point where the moments weren't big anymore, and I didn't have the butterflies in my stomach that I used to have. And so I stopped preparing for, speeches and talks and presentations. And I noticed that, I was kind of getting burned out from commercial real estate and brokerage specifically, because I had ideas. I had like the vision for the asset, for the property. And I would give them the strategy, the deal, the lender, the architect, the general contractor. I'd set up escrow, I did everything.
Yeah.
And the only difference was they were the ones signing on the dotted line. And so when that kind of hit me, I hadn't bought a property in 12 years. Believe it or not, in 2007. And then in 2019, Sam, my business partner now, brings this deal to me. It's on the market, and the majority of my transactions in residential and commercial have been off market, maybe 70% if I had to guess.
Wow.
And so I was like, all right, let me teach this guy a few things, you know what I'm saying? Because he's not in real estate at the time, but he's a house flipper, an entrepreneur, a full stack developer, engineer. Like, this guy is amazing.
Right.
I'm so lucky to have Sam as a partner. But he shows me this deal, and within 30 seconds, we're in Bellevue at the Mercury Coffee joint. And we still remember the table because it's so significant. But he puts the brochure on the table. I looked through it, and within 30 seconds, I was like, dude, we're either getting a $500,000 assignment fee or we're doing this deal ourselves. And people couldn't see it. They couldn't see what we saw. And we ended up doing the deal ourselves, and
Wow.
the rest is history. You know, I retired like within 6 months from there.
It's crazy.
And yeah, this is my life. Commercial real estate investor. It's
Wow.
buying hotels and
Right.
converting them into apartment buildings, developing townhomes. Yeah, and I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. The freedom that I've had to become a good father. And commercial real estate did the same thing. You know, it regulated my hours.
Yeah.
So when I went from residential, which is like 24/7, weekends, nights, when everyone else is off work, that's when you're working.
Yeah.
To commercial, it's like, hey, you can't even reach anybody on a Saturday.
No, yeah, good
The
luck.
audacity to want to see something after business hours is like
6 o'clock showing. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. You'd be lucky. My best clients won't even call me during those times, and I won't answer the phone. You know, it's just an unspoken thing. You do business during business hours.
I had a client 2 days ago call me, and he said, look, I understand you work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? He's like, but this deal is very important to me. If I call you at 7 p.m., could you please pick up the phone? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know.
I would totally, if somebody
Yeah.
came to me with that, I mean, yeah.
So they know, like, okay,
They know.
this is how it is, but they're just like, hey, please, if I call you, it's important.
Right, right.
So please answer. I'm like, okay, no problem. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
was one of my favorite things about the commercial real estate lifestyle.
Yeah. Same here, man. I enjoy that. I enjoy the weekends. The weekends are with my kid. I don't do anything else.
Right.
I don't answer the phone. I don't have to answer the phone. What are you going to talk to me about that can't wait until Monday?
But again, I do love the people and the community within the real estate brokerage community. And so I miss it. And because of that, I'm back in the game.
Right.
But in different capacity, not taking on any real estate deals. I'm unlicensed. Just doing the financing aspects on with investment capital, hard money, private capital lending. I'm doing that with Bellevue Lending now.
Bellevue? Yeah. They're pretty good.
Yeah, some of my best friends in the world. Came up with those guys. I was the young guy. But Davis he's one of my best friends. Just to get his attention, I bought 3 homes from him. Back, I think it was like 2005, 2006. And he was young too at the time, like 26-year-old hedge fund manager, 27, whatever. Smart guy.
Yeah.
These are some of the smartest guys in every single room. They changed the game in hard money.
Yeah,
And
I haven't talked to him in like I think 3 or 4 years because that was the last time I bought a deal. But I would call him like, yeah, dude, do it, and then we just close on it like within like 3 days. Absolutely amazing.
It's the best feeling. I'm on the phone with doing a deal.
Yeah.
And I got everybody, like listening in. I think we recorded this call too. One of my partners, Bozy, and I'm talking to Will Heaton in Trust Funding, and I'm telling him about the next deal that we're going to purchase. He financed the first one, and like within maybe 2 minutes. He's like, yeah, we'll have the money there by Friday. Best feeling, you know? And everybody in the background was like, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
If he knew what was going on behind the scenes and that he was on speakerphone, yeah, that would have been a moment.
No, that's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. So how do you balance all this now? Like, are you just focused here in Seattle, Bellevue area, or do you do anything?
Yeah, you know, when I first was thinking about the jump just to investment,
right.
I mean, even though I have vision, I was also thinking, okay, we're going to start with like a 4-plex. We're going to start 5-plex, you know,
right.
something small, something manageable. And then our first deal was 25 units. And it was a hotel that we then later converted into apartments. And that was the whole idea, is take this hotel, and we got it for like $84,000 per key. And they're all studios. And we were like, okay, we go from 84 to 350 a door in multifamily market. That's what everything we're going for at the time, 358.
Right.
So the arbitrage was so big, nobody saw it. I saw it, Sam saw it, and so, you know, we jumped on it. But yeah, that was the thought of like, hey, we're just gonna do base hits and then build up and build this fund. And no, but our first one was 25, our next one was 50, and then within that period, we launched 3 buildings at the same time, because we master leased one and then we managed in another. And then it was year 2 where we tripled the size of our footprint, or maybe more than that, maybe like 4x'd our footprint. And then the next deal that we purchased was 116 doors. And so it's just, you know, one of those things where God just blessed us with center of the pond, AAA core properties. Not the best looking, you know. They were historic buildings. Some of them, you know, were historic. Yeah. Others don't have historical value, but they were just built in, you know, 1908. You know, that's our city. Our city is a mature city. It's been around for a while. So there's an old Seattle, and I love old Seattle. So everything we have is like in the core: Wallingford, Magnolia, Capitol Hill, Belltown. Like 2-3 blocks from here, this location, we have 50 units. 3 blocks from here that we're now reconverting. It was housing for 3 years. Now we're bringing it back and making it a hostel.
Wow.
It was the #1 hostel in the United States in 2007. Featuring artwork from 40 local artists, and now we want to bring it back to its former glory. And we got a great partner out of Denver who's operating it, Fish Hostel. So really excited about that. The progress is underway as we speak, and they're going to be in it for 10 years.
Wow.
So, or at least 10 years.
Right.
You know, they've got options to extend. So we're really excited about that, because now it's going from, you know, kind of a interesting type of lease to a more stable asset with a long-term tenant. Yeah. And it's going to have the cool factor, and we'll do rooftop deck and an elevator and things like that. Beautiful views of the Space Needle and downtown.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So this is almost ready, and we'll transfer this out. So if you weren't in real estate, where would you be?
I don't know who that person is, to be honest. No, if I wasn't in real estate, I'd probably be retiring from the NBA right now. Or, you know, I mean, like if I had a choice.
Right.
You know, not necessarily the skills, but I think either playing professional basketball or being the quarterback of one of the NFL teams is probably one of the coolest jobs you can have.
Yeah.
You know, Oh, there's always the owner of the team, but you know.
Now you can do it. Now you can do it. You can both swing. You know, now you can own a team.
Yeah. Well, you
can bring the Sonics back.
Well, they're coming back. You know.
Yeah, so. I mean, you can be, you know, one of the major players in that thing.
Well, I think right now I could be a super minority partner, on a percent of a percent. But no, I think the vision for doing things like that is there. We've invested in some companies, some tech companies, and I think the real answer to that is being a venture capitalist.
Right.
And finding the next leaders, the next generation of tech, of business, new business models that innovate.
Yeah.
And investing in things, not just because they're a good idea, but because I believe in the people.
Right.
And like, I use this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that would be a dream role, and that's still achievable. So, we're doing it right now, just not in an organized fashion like a venture capital company would.
What do you think that a lot of people get wrong about real estate investing?
I think they fall in love with the property more than the use and what it's going to bring to that community. And so I think a lot of people speculate on, we're going to build this and then they will come. And I think that's where a lot of people make bad decisions,
right,
or end up outside of their area of expertise. Because now they have to be a broker, or now they have to hire a broker, or they have to find the tenancy for the thing that they spent a bunch of money to renovate. If you find the purpose first, the use first, the community first, and then leveraging that, going to find the asset,
right,
now you have a partnership, and you're acquiring something that's purpose built. And we've done that with our deals, and it's been tremendous. You know, the McDonald's story, right? Where Ray Kroc was out there getting the loan based on the lease and the franchise that was going to be occupying.
Right.
And so he had the tenant already in tow. And that's what we've done on several deals.
Yeah.
And with one of our deals, we were able to buy it and fully lease it within like 3 months. It was 100% occupied. Our last deal that we purchased in Capitol Hill is a 27 unit. At the closing table, we took a leap of faith on that one because we had an idea of who could use it. And this was like a brand new building, fully vacant. Never been lived in. We purchased it, and when that happened, at the closing table, a call came in for a tenant who was going to take the whole building. And so, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we leased that thing within like 24 hours of closing.
That is crazy.
And that makes a successful investment, and they love it. And so I think that is the way. You can't always do that, but if you find a good purpose, like if the Sonics came back to town and like they needed a stadium and they needed, offices and things like that.
Right.
I mean, that's a little bit easier than building the stadium and then hoping the Sonics come back, right? So I could probably figure that out, even as small of a player as I would be compared to like a big NBA group.
Right.
I could call around and figure that out. So finding the purpose first, I think, is the key.
No, that's great. That's great advice. So you currently own a single asset class, or you're spread across like multiple asset classes?
Multiple, but pretty much a singular focus, which is housing. I'm a big believer in essential. So housing is, when COVID hit, and it feels like it's so long ago, but when that hit,
It does.
all of our priorities shifted.
Yeah.
And they shifted back to what's essential. And, industrial, that was essential to get goods and services to people. Office,
Yeah.
they didn't have a chair. And everybody was locked in their homes, at the lock-in period. And so myself and several other entrepreneurs, commercial real estate entrepreneurs, were talking, and we said, you know what? Home is going to be essential forever. And so that's one of the things that has been our guiding principles and our core principles is finding ways to create homes. We have a housing shortage across the country, but definitely in Seattle where we have water on one side, mountains on the other, and everything's compressed in. The landscape is, we can't just trash it. We've got so much beauty, natural beauty here.
Correct.
So because of that, we've got this housing shortage, and I think that's our space. Also on hospitality, so that's where we kind of have the crossover. But then in hospitality, you don't have everything with you usually. So you still need your essentials. And because we're a company like that, we have everything from toilet paper to shampoos, conditioners, and toothpaste, and so on and so forth. And so we're able to, and one of the ways we're able to get these tenants with vision is that we can offer fully furnished, all the essentials included, and create different housing agreements than some of our competitors. Yeah. So housing, whether we're building like new houses, townhomes in the city to sell, or converting hospitality into apartments, or just buying an apartment building, it's a box.
Right.
It's just a box, and I could dream within that box.
Yeah.
And so I think we'll be in this space for a while. If I were to buy office, we'd be looking at a similar thing of converting office into residential. And that's a harder nut to crack, but we'd be willing to do it with the right deal and with the right opportunity.
Like the one we were talking about earlier, that would work perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that excess land, man.
Yeah.
A lot to dream.
That's No, that's really good. What is your go-to like comfort food?
I would say pizza. Pizza is a go-to. Again, along the lines of Italian food, but American pizza. Because, it's just everything on one thing.
Easy.
And I love cheese.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
So what kind of pizza?
I think I could do a lot of different types. And if I had, those little mama's peppers, those red ones? Dude, anything you put that on becomes something else.
So what's your favorite restaurant around here?
Your restaurant, but I do like.
Don't say anything yet. You haven't tried it. You haven't tried it.
But I believe in you, my man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So I would say I do like steak restaurants. I do. The Met would be a good one. John Howie, another good one. They have this tempura fried bacon that you dip in maple sriracha. It's amazing too.
That sounds really good.
Side to slide over with whatever you order.
That sounds really good.
It's good.
Have you been to a steakhouse chain called Del Frisco's?
I've heard of it, but I haven't been there.
Dude, we were in New York, and we just happened to go there for dinner, and we had the tomahawk there.
Ooh.
It has a lobster butter truffle sauce with it.
They come on like a big.
Oh, dude!
The whole
thing.
Shebang.
It was just amazing. Like wow. I've yet to have a steak that is close to what I had there. Absolutely crazy. Really, really enjoy that. Del Frisco's. They're not in Seattle, which is odd. They're in LA, they're in Arizona, they're in pretty much all other major cities, but they're not here.
But see, that goes back to commercial real estate.
Yeah.
Right? You love them so much. Why not contact the chef or the GM and say, hey, we would love to have you here. Here's the competitive analysis of the area.
Yeah.
And I've got a good location for you.
Yeah.
Just look on the market. It creates conversation and build rapport, and that's the kind of real estate I'd like to do.
No, I like it. I like that where you were calling them. I think I tried to contact Chipotle one time because I was like, man, you guys have nothing from downtown Kent all the way to Maple Valley. There's 0 locations. 0. And they finally opened one in Covington. Yeah, but it was just like, I was knocking on the door like,
that is the way.
a few years ago. I'm like, where are you? Like, you have a huge market here, you know, and then Maple Valley and Covington, I believe Maple Valley especially, your household income is a little higher than down there in Kent. So they have more disposable income, but they fall right in your wheelhouse. And they finally opened it.
Yeah, that is, this is the way, as they would say.
Yeah.
Finding what's not there. Because, you know, before Chick-fil-A moved to Bellevue, there was enough chicken. There was enough chicken everywhere. But then when they moved to Bellevue, nobody knew they were going to have police directing traffic because
the line.
And then they had to lease parking spaces from a hotel next door. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's like they're right next to Woods Coffee, and Woods Coffee can get busy too.
Yeah,
they get a line too. So if you go there when they're both busy, it's crazy.
But having that vision, having that vision, and if you come to the table with tenancy, you're bringing value to the table.
Yeah,
and that's another thing that I learned in commercial real estate is that, like, there's a lot of places you can come from to bring value to the deal. The biggest and the most is the guy who signs the contract, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what made me sign. But then bringing a tenant to the table has gotten, can open doors for ownership. Bringing skills, management, being an architect, all these ways help you access a deal. And the more of them you have within your investment group, the more points you're picking up along the way.
Right.
And because we've been able to create so much value in the deal, having the deal, having the tenant, it's not dollar for dollar anymore, as far as investment.
So have you ever closed like a big deal over food?
A lot of them.
Any memorable
food in the equation?
Yeah.
The last deal we closed in September, so like 4 months ago, we shook hands at the table at a Thai food restaurant in off Broadway, and we were certain we were doing that deal. And food always kind of lifts the spirits. It takes away it brings focus to the situation.
Right.
But then sometimes if it's loud, there's a lot going on. It's hard to, the waitress has to take the order. In our case, it was a waitress came, took the order. And so you have to wait for the right time and then go deep. You got to be able to hold those cards.
Yeah.
And let the moment come to you. So that's, food, man. Food is a winner.
And I think you got to pick the right restaurant too.
For sure.
For sure. You got to pick the right place.
Yeah, we're not. Even though Red Robin is popular and they have good things there.
Yeah. While you're talking about a deal and they're like, "Happy birthday, happy birthday," or they're ringing in the back. You're like, "Okay, this is great." Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. No, that's amazing.
It's to be expected.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be expensive. That's the thing.
No.
Like sometimes it's just creative and a good setting, a good environment, good lighting, quiet, or maybe somebody there, a chef or a server, and they come out and they're like, "Hey, I want you to just try this new dessert that we."
Right.
Would you have that experience and the people that are?
It makes a whole lot of difference.
Or you lease the place to them and there's a story you can tell.
Yes.
Yeah,
dude,
that's fire.
Yeah, we were at a Mediterranean restaurant in Kent. It's called Olive Tree Mediterranean.
Oh yeah.
And their platters are like amazing. So I got introduced to them a few years back, and then I became friends with the owners, right? To the point where he invited me to have tacos at the restaurant after hours. So we closed the restaurant and we're just back in the kitchen cooking. And I was there till like midnight, 1 a.m. Right? So every time I go there, he's like, "Hey man, I'm making this new thing, try it. Do this, do that." And every time I'm there, I'm just like, that's exactly what you're talking about. It's like knowing the people and having those conversations, right? And I always bring stuff for them. If I cook something, I'm like, oh man, I think he's gonna like it, because they're on the way to the office. I'll stop by, drop it off. You know.
So generous too. So I did a deal with Chot House. Do you remember them? Yeah, back in, I don't know, 2018 or something.
Right.
And they would just feed the heck out of me. Every time I came in to get something signed or, you know, pick something up, they're like, here.
Yeah.
So generous, great people. We ended up doing like a 15-year lease on a property.
Wow.
It was a good deal in Bellevue. And so, yeah, I love working with food. Tenants and
they're hard,
investors.
but
yeah, because the requirements.
Yeah.
The requirements are tough, and they can be expensive. The build outs, and all the good restaurant build outs are like there's multiple people looking at them.
Oh,
we love to eat in Seattle. So.
Oh, we do. Yeah, I had a client. He was. We were looking at this restaurant space, and then it was just like a new space, and they had nothing in there, no plumbing, no electrical, no floors, right? They still need to pour concrete there. So the landlord was like, we're not paying a buyer rep. So you gotta, ask your client. So I'm like, I talked to them, and then they're like, well, you're charging a little too much. And I said, if you're worried about my fee, you got bigger things to worry about.
Right.
You haven't even seen the plumbing bill. You haven't even seen the electrical bill.
Right.
Like there's nothing there. And landlord's only going to give you so much. So sometimes that cost is a deterrent to a lot of, especially a new restaurants that are coming up.
Right.
So,
and if you have something that's a build out,
different story.
Different story. You can.
They're so hard to find.
They are, and they charge. Like if you're a landlord and you got a good space.
You got a Type 1 hood.
Yeah.
You got a walk-in cooler. You got all that stuff. You're like, you're sitting gold mine.
Gold mine.
Yeah, and they'll sign like a 10+ year lease very easily.
Yeah.
Because they're like, where else are you gonna go?
Exactly.
There's nothing around here.
Right.
Yeah. You're not allergic to cashews, are you?
No.
Okay.
I love cashews.
A little too late, but.
You know those toffee cashews from Costco?
No.
Oh my goodness, bro. There was probably a period in my life where I had that bag with me everywhere. And toffee cashews are so good.
Toffee cashews.
Mm-hmm. Like toffee coated
cashews.
You'd be surprised. It goes well in there. You throw them in cereal. That's the thing, okay. I'm the snack king.
Yeah.
So I could take one thing and make it work with another thing.
Yeah.
And come up with all kinds of stuff. But as far as like my cooking, it's limited to air fryer.
You can make some good things in air fryer. Yeah.
It used to be George Foreman grill. I could go to town on a George Foreman grill back in the day when I had roommates.
Yeah, we're almost ready with this saute.
Smells almost ready.
Yeah, it's almost ready, and then we're gonna puree this, and then we're gonna strain it.
Ah.
So that's creamy and buttery.
Gotcha.
Right, and then we'll add the heavy cream in there. We'll add a little bit more butter because we haven't added enough yet.
There's multiple phases of butter.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You gotta keep adding it in there.
It's like a development.
It is a development. It's kind of like foundation has been laid, right? Plumbing and electrical and all that stuff, and then slowly we're moving forward to it. Okay, Lloyd, it looks like a special guest has joined us.
Yes.
Would you want to introduce? Who
Absolutely, and I'm so hungry. I'm sure.
Dude, we're just like.
I came just in time for dinner.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have the lovely Diane Cow with us.
Hello.
She is a commercial broker and a financier. She helped us on 3 deals.
Wow.
Helped us find a townhome development in Magnolia, a flip property in Wallingford, and this space that we're in right now.
Wow.
She negotiated it all and
nice.
got a great deal on this space. And so, let's eat.
Yeah, we're ready.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for making dinner for us.
Yeah. So we got one last spice that goes in there. I'm gonna have you do a little smell test on that one.
Oh. Aromatic.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
It smells like
No.
herbal medicine.
Yeah, it's dried fenugreek leaves.
Fenugreek. I've seen all these names before, but like if you were to tell me to match the ingredient with the name,
Right.
I don't think I could do that.
So we're just gonna.
Could you? That could be like a fun game.
Yeah.
For next time, like have labels of each one and then
Yeah, match to what do you think it is?
match
Yeah,
the
that's a
ingredient.
good idea. So we just kind of like put that in there.
What is this?
Those are green cardamoms.
Green cardamoms.
They're also really nice mouth fresheners. You just chew on them.
Really?
Any type of special
Oh,
effect.
yeah. Smells good. Fresh.
Yep.
That smells amazing.
The original bubblegum.
It smells great. It smells like it could go in a candle.
All right. Lloyd, would you give us a little taste?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's go.
See what we're missing. A head turner. A head turner. We have a head turner.
I think we're there. I like the way you do it.
Thank you. And rice is also ready. Oh yeah, see that?
Oh yeah, sticky.
Yeah. Who needs a rice cooker?
Me.
Yeah, yeah.
Just me.
All right, Diane, would you like a tester? I mean, we're almost there to plate, but
I'm just gonna plate it. Okay. Alright, thank you.
you're welcome.
Oh my gosh, it's so cozy.
Thank you.
It's like warm, it's comfort food.
Thank you. All right. So while I do this, Lloyd, I have another question for you.
Sure.
So as a seasoned broker and an investor, what kind of advice you have for somebody who's just up and coming
Yeah.
as a broker or as an investor into real estate?
I think what a lot of people are lacking are a couple things. You know, there's skills, obviously, like financial analysis and just understanding property and understanding the lingo and all those things. But I think it really starts with confidence being at the foundation. And people think that they don't have a lot of experience with real estate, but I guarantee you might think different if you really analyze someone or looked at them the way that I would. You know, I've worked with a lot of people that are trying to get in the business, and one of the things I always tell them is like, nothing's wasted. If you've worked in retail before,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
you might have a deeper understanding. If you were a server before in the past and worked at a restaurant, you may be able to connect with those type of tenants or those type of buyers more than you think.
Right.
So, because it's not just about numbers, it's also a people business. And people want to do business with people they like and they trust. And so I would say dig deep into your experiences, because you can pull them out and find things that you're passionate about, find things that you have deep understanding of. And then you can go deeper and do your research there. But some of that is like the beginning spark for really learning an asset class in commercial real estate. You know, your experience with owning a restaurant. I mean, how much can you really connect with somebody and relate to them when they're a startup restaurant or a second, or, you know, they're expanding their business? I mean, you already know what you had to do, when you had to go through, when you had to talk to the city, what things were necessary, when things weren't. And so I think that is a big thing that people miss. There's obviously a lot of technical things that you can pick up, but I think just starting with the foundation and gaining that interest so you can dive deep, obsess about some topics, and then become an expert in that area.
Wow, thank you. I think the food is just waiting, screaming at you to be eaten. So please,
too long.
Please,
let's go.
Let's do this.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I'm so good. He's like tasting all the spices right now.
It's not over yet. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me here. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy your food. And everybody watching, I'll see you guys next time.